You know, this definitely reminds me of Half-Life 2. Just the sort of the ending with the... well, I'd hate to spoil it. This is very Citadel-esque, that's all I'm going to say.
You think whatever down-zone custom wetware that bitch put in your head is going to crack my chip?
Oh, he done said a swear.
Remote override detected.
Something is wrong. These damn corridors. Denim.
God damn you, Kilo. I made you, Kilo. I had you custom wired for a purpose, and I can pull your fucking plug like any other machine.
Kilo?
Oh, don't tell me another. What's going on? I hope it's not another boss fight. If it's another boss fight, I shall not be particularly pleased.
When you and that bitch are both dead and buried, we're gonna rebuild the enclaves on your stupid down zone bones.
I don't know what any of those words mean.
Under poured concrete, Kilo. You've got my promise on that.
Tap X to... oh, this just about sums this game up. Which is a shame, because I actually quite enjoyed this game. I love the style of it, the colours. The colours are nice.
Such a shame.
Oh, wait, what have I done? What have I done? I've pushed him down the spire. Destroyed by his own creation.
Guess you got used again. No, they can't touch you now.
I'm a rogue agent. Don't point a gun at me. First rule of gun safety. Come on.
I wonder what you'll do now that you don't have any orders.
Finger off the trigger. And, there it is. That's the end of Syndicate 2012. It's not a bad game. It's not a bad game at all, but is it a great game? No. I'm going to say a few things. I liked the visual style of it. I certainly liked the visual design. The feel of the world was nice. It was a weird blend of the sort of the dingy dystopian Blade Runner-esque style with the kind of the pure, the sort of the Mirror's Edge sort of absolute pristine future style. It was an interesting mesh between those two opposing forces, which I liked. And I liked the fact that it was colourful. I liked the fact that for no reason sometimes there were massive blooms of orange, of yellow, of red, of blue. It was a very colourful game, and I liked that. I thought it was going to be all very yellow like Deus Ex Human Revolution, but it's not. No. What else? The shooting mechanics, the actual feel of the guns, the aiming down the sights, actually pretty good. For a 30 frames per second game, I was impressed. It's not Call of Duty, but it's about, I'd say it probably exceeds Battlefield as far as feel. On the consoles, I'm not talking about on PC, whereas, on the PC, Battlefield is far, far better. But no. As far as on the console, with the sticks and the controls, I'd say, yeah, this is a pretty good handling game. It's, of the shooters that aren't Call of Duty that I've played this year, it is probably my favourite handling one, the one that feels the best. Part of the reason that I like it is because of the revolver, the one-shot headshot revolver. That was particularly good fun. I did enjoy those sections. But no, in general, the shooting mechanics are nice. I think the difficulty on the boss levels is maybe pitched a little bit high compared to the rest of the game. I know boss fights are supposed to be hard. That last one in particular, it seems like there's an elevated reliance on luck, where there should be a reliance on learning patterns and, counteracting the enemy's movement, rather than just hoping that you don't get screwed. That was quite a frustrating fight. I'll probably will cut out most of the attempts, just because A, it's kind of boring watching the same thing over and over again, and B, because I said some very bad words. Overall length, length is as you'd expect for a game of today. It's, I don't know. I think that's about 5 to 6 hours, and I mean, I am rushing through. What else? Is it true to the original Syndicate? No, is the simple answer. It's not in any way tactical, unfortunately. It does allude to the universe. I'd consider this not really a continuation of the series, but a homage to the series. A reimagining. It's a shame they... I don't know, it's a shame they had to take the name of the original. Not that the original game is some sort of holy cow. Honestly, it's not. I have played a lot of the original Syndicate, and it's a great game. It's a very satisfying game, especially if you take it within its context, within its era. It's a phenomenal game. I mean, oh my word, yes. The shooting and tactical and all that goodness, yes. The Gauss gun in the original, the minigun, they were fantastic, brilliant things. The noise and the atmosphere, the music especially in the original, very, very good. But the original game isn't perfect, not by a long chalk. There's plenty of frustrating things about that. That was a hard game as well. So I guess in the sense that the original was a tough game to beat, I suppose it's only right that they throw in some frustrating bits with the bosses. It's interesting to see a game in the same universe, although the cities didn't feel the same. I would have quite liked to have seen maybe an open city first-person shooter, you know? Maybe like the original game, you know, you have a city, you have a task within that city, but you can choose to take basically Grand Theft Auto, I suppose. Something like that, but I don't know, I'm just rambling now. So, wrap up, alright. Syndicate 2012. Is it a good game? It is pretty good, I would say. It is pretty good. I will remember some of the sequences from this game fondly, I think. As far as a first-person shooter is concerned, it's not a bad first-person shooter. It handles pretty nicely. At least on the consoles, or the Xbox in my specific case. So yeah, if you're looking for a console shooter with a sort of dystopian kind of interesting take on the potential, you know, future, then yeah, this is actually not a bad game in its own right. I think if this was a new franchise, it might have reviewed higher. It might have reviewed higher than otherwise it has. Syndicate is a big name to live up to. It was the brainchild of Bullfrog, and although this is a sad tale of Bullfrog, Bullfrog were one of the great development houses of the 90s. They did fantastic games. They did Theme Park, they did Populous, they did this, Syndicate, the original. And they did Dungeon Keeper and a whole host of games. They had a fantastic reputation, and then they were acquired by EA and silently disbanded. And so the era of Bullfrog sadly came to a close. But, you know, I'm not one to dwell on nostalgia. And of course, you know, I'm happy to see new studios thrive and build up their own reputation. But, I don't know, I think this is going to be, in the annals of history, maybe an also ran. There are a few frustrations with it. I think they could definitely cut down on the QTEs. I think they could maybe balance... there's a few unclear paths. And a few sort of, I don't know, like the press X to open door things. I think they could have smoothed those interactions a little bit. Sometimes you struggle to find a button. But these are minor quibbles, and I guess I could overlook stuff like that. The major stuff that's wrong with it is, like I say, some of the bits are frustrating. There's nothing really wrong with this game. I'm just trying to be critical because it's, like I say, I'm treating Syndicate as some sort of holy cow, and it's not. It's been 20 years, you know. It's time to maybe embrace. Maybe this won't be the first Syndicate game that we'll see from Starbreeze. Maybe they'll do a Syndicate 2. Maybe they'll improve on this one. Maybe it'll actually be a really good game. I don't know. We'll see. Well, there is potential. It's not an absolute disgrace to the Syndicate name, but then I don't know if it's enough to convince people that Syndicate was a great game. I've yet to try co-op, and to be honest, in my eyes, the inclusion of co-op in any game is an absolute boon. Co-op for me is a really, really cheap win for a game. so many games that could have done co-op didn't. I think really did lose out. So I'm happy to see that co-op does in fact make its appearance here. I don't know how good it is. I hear it's a highlight. I don't actually know anybody else who owns this game. It only came out in the UK yesterday, so there haven't been too many chances to actually for my friends to purchase this, and then maybe have a blast. It looks like it could be fun. So, should you buy this game? Well, you've seen the game. I'm sure you can work out whether you like the look of it or not. Just know that it does handle pretty well, and it is what it is. It's a first-person shooter that is inspired by a pretty seminal 1993 game by legendary studio Bullfrog. So, if it tickles your fancy, then check it out. So that's the end of it. That's the end of Syndicate. Wow, I've actually completed a game. It took me all night, and it took me more than a few attempts on the final boss, but I shan't complain anymore about that. I'm glad it's done. Thank you for watching, and I shall bid you good night.